Today, I am going to be building the ultimate Pokemon collection with $10,000. And there's going to be 3 rules to this challenge. Number 1, there must be at least 1 sealed product on here. Number 2, we have to include a trainer card. And then number 3, there has to be 10 items in total on this list. And trust me, with the cards that I'm picking, you're gonna call me Minimal Vintage from now on. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe now, and let's get into the video. Now, obviously, this is a hypothetical $10,000 budget, so I'm not actually buying the cards. However, if we were to buy these cards, I'm going to be using the most recent comps on all of the product that are in this video, including the first card, which is going to be the Bubble Mew in a PSA 10. I feel like it would be wrong of me to leave this card out of this list for my own collection because it was probably the most important card in my Pokemon journey to date. But back in 1998, Mew made its first appearance in the Mewtwo Strikes Back first Pokemon movie, where he appeared in the bubble, which gave him that baby blue tint. Now, obviously, he flies out of the water and he turns to pink, which is the color we mainly know him by. However, when this card came out, it caught so many eyes, but I believe it was undervalued for a very long time until the boom happened of the card. Now, I'm not going to try and pronounce the artist's name. However, I want to make sure he gets credit, which is right here for this beautiful card that came out. It's obviously a card that became really popular over time. When this card first came out, it kind of flew under the radar a little bit. People were actually buying it in very heavy quantities because it just had that ideal appearance to it that people were going to know it was going to be a popular card. And now, looking at the comps on it, you can get this card for around $950 in a PSA 10. So get this little budget, take off $950. That's the first card we're adding to the $10,000 Pokemon collection. Now, for the second item that is going to be joining the collection, this is going to take up a large chunk of our budget, but I will tell you why in a second. And that is going to be the Team Up Booster Box. According to TCG right now, I believe you can buy this booster box for around $4,000. That means we are cutting in half our budget already between the Mew and this box. And the reason for adding this box is, one, I believe in investing in sealed products, so I think you can never go wrong buying something and putting on your shelf that is a sealed product. However, for this specific set, there is another reason, and it is because of the quality and the value the hits bring in this set. You have the Latios Lover card in this, you have 2 Gengar Mimikyu cards, you have the Magikarp and Wailord tag team card. There are so many good cards in this set, and if you can get them in a PSA 10, the value of these cards is insane. And that's why I think putting this on the shelf for the people who may want to rip it one day, which is insane because the hits are like impossible to pull. And especially if you're looking for a talking point, this is something where if somebody comes over and they see your collection, this is an absolute monster piece to have on the shelf. So we're adding this to the budget, the Team Up Booster Box and the Bubble Mew. We're about halfway through the budget now, but we got about $5 grand to work with, so let's get to card 3. Now, for number 3, I think it's important that we get that trainer card added to our collection. I'm just going to pick one that's one of my personal favorites, and this is going to be the Cynthia Garchomp from Hidden Fates. SV82 is the serial number, and it's from the Shiny Vault. Specifically, we're going to be adding it in a PSA 10, which is around $250 on alt right now, and I think this card you just cannot go wrong with. Garchomp, fantastic Pokemon. Super popular from a fan base perspective, as well as Cynthia for a trainer is one of the most well-known trainers. So you kind of put those two together. Every time they're on a card together, it does good. So you put that in a PSA 10, $250 value. Easy, add it to the list. Now, I told you, you were probably going to think that I'm minimal vintage after I make this collection video. And that is because it is essential that we add the Team Rocket Mewtwo EX to this collection. Specifically in a PSA 9. This card is doing around $900 to $1,000. So we're just going to put $950 to be safe in the total budget right now. But the reason for having this card, number 1, Mewtwo, it's just one of the most popular Pokemons of all time. I mean, literally the first movie is based off of him. Number 2, the card is fire. Like, it's just fire, okay? We're just adding it in there because it's cool as shit, all right? This card is fire. And then number 3, the value, the vintage appeal, the collector appeal, the population report, it all adds up. So I think this is a super essential card. If you're trying to build one of the best collections, you want to have this Mewtwo card in there. Now, kind of rolling with the vintage appeal, okay? Fire Red Leaf Green, one of my favorite sets, one of the coolest cards to buy is that Charizard, and we're throwing that in the list. That Charizard card, besides the Crystal card out of Skyridge, this one is fire, okay? And literally and figuratively. But this card is just fantastic. I believe in a PSA 8 right now, it's around the $800 mark on alts, which it really fluctuates because this is not an easy card to find. However, going kind of off the Mewtwo, we gotta get a Charizard in there, all right? It's an essential piece, an essential Pokemon to have in every collection. It might be a little bit more than 800 now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know if let's just say 9. Let's add 900, all right? Put it up here. But it is an essential character, an essential Pokemon, essential card, all that good stuff to have in your collection. And it's an absolutely beautiful card. Like, look at it right now. Like, it's just like, oh, put that music right there. All right, you know what I'm saying? That card is fire. I've owned one personally, and it was a very hard card to let go, but when you're building a business, it's what you got to do. However, for this video, we're adding it to the collection. Now back to some more recent sets. Another investment piece, okay? This is one that's going to go on the shelf, all right? I forget what number we're at, so we're just going to, we're going to keep going. However, the Fusion Strike booster box. I talked about this in my investment video, and we're going to put it in the collection right now. It's around $450 on TCG for the value of the box, and you can get some fantastic pulls in this. Obviously, you have all your Mew cards, and then you have your Gengar cards, all right? 2 popular Pokemon. Everybody loves a good Gengi card, and we are throwing that box in there because it's insanely hard to pull, so we're not going to put that card in there. Plus, it's very, very high on the market right now, so that would have taken up a lot of the budget. However, we're adding that box. It's a ton of fun to hit. We just hit the Espeon card in there, too. That card is fire, all right? Ton of good cards in that set. Add it to the budget. $450 out, and now we're moving on. Now, I think we're on number 7 of how many cards or products we are adding to this collection, but this is going to be the Team Rocket Returns Stamped Dark Gyarados PSA 9. The card number for this is 36 out of 109, and it's not too expensive a card. However, I think it's a super attractive Gyarados card. This is another Pokemon that I think is just really important to have in the collection. And right now, you can get this card for around $225. That stamp, the stamps on Pokemon cards are so essential, and that's kind of why I wanted to get one in here. It just makes the card way more appealing for some reason. And trust me, me too. Like, that's why I'm adding it to this list. That little stamp is super important. I don't know if you guys are picking up on this, but I really like the Rocket stuff. So we had the Mewtwo, and now we're adding the Gyarados in here, and we're putting it in the collection at around $225. Now, if y'all have been following me for a little bit now, y'all know that I like collecting that weird like niche stuff, all right? So I kind of threw in a little curveball, all right? We're throwing in a curveball, and I am adding a Japanese card. Now this does have an English variant, however the Japanese has a little bit more detail to it, okay? So in 2008, Domino's did a collab with Pokemon where they made a Domino's Level X Snorlax card. And in a PSA 10 right now, you can find this for around $500. And the reason I'm doing this, one, Japanese has better quality, which I've always been a fan of. However, it's a little bit more affordable than the English variant if you would select to have this card in your collection. So throw $500 up in the budget, all right? We're adding this card to it. It's a really good talking point. The Domino's collab is really cool. Level X cards are really popular in English especially. So you kind of get both worlds in this, all right? You get that unique factor, you get the popularity factor. Snorlax, awesome Pokemon. Throw it in the collection, and we're moving on. Now, I think right now I am still under the budget. I don't think I'm super close yet, but we're going to get close, all right? So the number 9 Pokemon card that we are adding to this collection is going to be the Umbreon Darkrai GX promo. Around $120 right now for the tag team promo, and this card is fantastic. Darkrai, super cool Pokemon. Umbreon, super popular Pokemon. I mean, this Pokemon is on every card that like blows up now. So you put those together, as well as you add the fact that it's a tag team card, which people are really investing heavily in right now. We're going to add this into the collection for a raw value as well, so around $120. This is a really hard card to grade. Like, there are so many PSA 9s, and there are so little PSA 10s. So I'm not going to go PSA 10 searching for this card. I'm getting in my collection. It's an awesome card. We had to get Umbreon in here somehow, and I just thought, you know what, let's go a little bit more modern. Let's get something a little less expensive. Don't worry, there's a good Umbreon card coming. However, this card for $120, you can't go wrong. And now finally, for the last card, if I did my math right, this should be card number 10. I'm looking at my list right now. But I saved a very special card for the end. This is one that, for me, I think is so baller. Like, this card is fire. And I'm going with the PSA 8 on this card, okay? I'm keeping my standards down. We're fitting this into the budget. I don't know how much money I have left over, but I do know the value of this card. And that is the Skyridge Umbreon Holo in a PSA 8. Roughly, I think, $1,400 right now, okay? That's a big card and a lot of money. throw it in the collection, all right? The reason for this is this card just speaks Pokemon, man. Between the yellow, between the Umbreon popularity, between the holo print on it. I believe you can get holo bleed in these cards as well. I'm no expert on this vintage stuff, so, you know. However, I just love this card, dude. It's fantastic, and you just gotta have a really cool Umbreon card. That's why I saved it for the end, because as a believer in all the evolution cards, especially any Sylveon card, because that's my favorite evolution, we're gonna throw Umbreon in here for the mere fact of it's just a baller card. It looks sick. Add it to the collection. I don't know what the total is here. Hopefully I'm under 10,000, you know, right here. But that's going to do it for this collection video. I thought it'd be a fun video to film. I had nothing going on this weekend, no card shows or anything. So you know what? I was like, let's spend some hypothetical money. Let's pretend for a second we're a baller, all right? And that's exactly what we did. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what card I missed, what card you would add, or what card was your favorite from this collection. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!